Scott Gladstone here, Assistant Director of Athletics and Communications, and I'm with Alauna Carstens, who was named the GNAC Cross Country Freshman of the Year, as well as an NCAA qualifier. Alauna, first of all, thanks for joining me. Great to have you in. I know you have a busy schedule with cross country going into indoor track and field, going outdoor, but thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
So let's first off talk about what brought you to St. Martin's University. Obviously, you're fairly close, but why the Saints?
Well, I really liked how Division II really focused on academics with athletics. I feel like Division I is a lot of the times really focused with athletics, and I felt like I would get a really good quality education here. I also love having my family close by. It's really nice to have that support and, go home for a home cooked meal, whenever. But also, I had trust in the training program here. I think Coach Matt did an awesome job with all our workouts, and you got to have that trust in your coach if you're going to do well.
So when you showed up to St. Martin's in the fall for the first time, talk to me about kind of your experience, interacting with the returners, meeting all the other newbies, and kind of what was that experience like, especially for the first part, especially because you go right into your season in cross country?
Yeah, the team was super encouraging. I was a little nervous about all the distance we were going to do at first, and my first very workout, I wasn't I was kind of in the back, and they just kept saying these encouraging words, and it really made me feel like I belonged here, and I knew they would uplift me and help me go the distance. So yeah.
Obviously, we'll talk more about your individual success, but the team also had a lot of success both on the med side and then the women's side as well.
Yeah.
At the GNAC, you guys put together a total team performance, because that's what it takes in cross country. It takes everybody to kind of bring up the numbers. So talk to me about, first of all, you had your great individual achievement at GNACs, but realizing the team had done so well and put it all together.
Yeah, every girl stepped up, and that was really cool to see how we could all come together and represent St. Martin's in such a great way. And it was kind of we knew it was going to happen. We knew that summer training paid off. We knew we put in the work, and it was really just about believing in one another and lifting each other up that got us to that point. So.
Then you guys go to regionals, and the thing about regionals is I saw pictures. It looked like there was snow. It looked like it was cold. Yeah. A lot of people wearing gloves. What is it like racing in those different conditions when it's so cold, but you know the potential of yourself and of your team based off GNACs?
You got to put all those factors aside and really focus on what you did to get there. Know yourself and know that your hard work paid off, and that's just going to carry with you throughout the race. And so we were trying not to focus on the weather. We talked a lot about gratitude, noticing what was going well. We had safe travels, we had really good food the night before, and we had each other. So yeah, just focusing on gratitude really helped us get our mind off the weather conditions and perform well. So.
And then, of course, after regionals, there's a little bit of a dead period before they announce the individual qualifiers for the NCAA. In that dead time, did you know that it was a possibility, or were you kind of okay, moving on to indoor track and field coming up, or what was your that experience with that dead period?
I was going to be happy either way. I kept telling myself it was important to realize my progress over perfection. So celebrating my little accomplishments throughout the way and the team's accomplishments, so I wouldn't get discouraged if I didn't make nationals, and I still would be happy and perform really well if I had to go straight into indoor. But yeah, it was really hard to be patient in that time, and when I did figure out the news, I just was so overwhelmed with happiness, and it's exactly what I wanted, but I wasn't going to be discouraged if that didn't happen, because I know that I still have I'm only a freshman, so I knew if it wasn't my time, it wasn't my time.
Yeah, and I mean that's a big part of what made it so cool. One, that you're a freshman, and then two, the national championships was in Seattle, and so it was kind of right up the road. Members of the St. Martin's community got to come and support you. You had your team there, your coaches there, everybody. So for you, like just tell me about that experience of competing in Seattle and getting a rep St. Martin's.
Well, the course is the course I actually got to compete on in high school. So having that experience was awesome. I felt really at home, and I just feel like it was kind of meant to happen, you know? Like, I've already been there, I'm so close, like, everything just kind of fell in place. And yeah, getting a good night's like sleep before, you know, I didn't really have to do all that traveling other teams did, so that was kind of reassuring knowing that I had like the proper rest and recovery time in between like regionals and nationals, and I just didn't have all the extra like stress factors some other teams had.
So you mentioned getting a good night's sleep. What are your other kind of pre-meet rituals before you have to race? What do you make sure to do?
I make sure everything is kind of like in place, so like stretching, ice bath, checking with the trainers, and like I said before, gratitude is just a big part of like my daily routine, and so I make sure to always focus on what's good before the race, so I go in with a positive mindset.
Do you listen to music before races?
Oh.
What's your kind of go-to bump?
Yeah, I love music. I have a really hard time, like, I always have like different favorite songs, so I can never like pinpoint. Let's see. I can't think of a favorite song.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if you're speaking to possibly like a future SMU runner coming in, or just anybody starting their freshman year running cross country, what advice do you have to, like, what helped you be successful in that early part of your career, that coming in the first year and, you know, kind of splashing onto the scene? What do you think is kind of a good piece of advice for a newbie?
Focusing on the day-to-day stuff, like all the little things. So doing your strength routine, doing your warm-ups. A lot of the times, it's easy to skip over, you know, those little things like warm-ups. And so, just staying focused, and the little work will go a long ways. So, yeah.
And finally, you know, of course, we talked about, you know, some of that individual success and some team success. When you look ahead at the rest of your college career, what are some of those goals that you have for yourself, to take what you did last year and say, you know, improve every day, and how do you see success in the upcoming years?
Now that I know, like, qualifying for nationals this year really gave me perspective in what I can do in the upcoming years, and I really do want to be like an All-American at one point, but I know that takes some work to get there. But that's my long-term goal, and I think it is possible because everything that happened this year just kind of like pushed me forward in what's to come. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Alauna, and good luck in the track and field season.
Awesome. Thank you.